Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and podcast. Now, for this morning, I should probably do this right away. It's been a while. And it's funny, you know. I don't think I've got that graphic here. Maybe if I go into, it was in the Munson and the Geezer. Look at this, 2021, trigger alert, Planet Earth 2021. When's it going to stop? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's go back into the GMP suite then and bring you the Bon Dia Daily. There we go. Bit of news this morning. And the reason I mentioned the trigger alert, and I'll play it as well, is you might not want to watch the first bit and tune back in when we talk to a lovely new guest on the Good Morning Portugal show. My new mate, Philippe, in Sao Martinho Do Porto. It's been really nice getting to know Philippe. He has spent, he was born in Sao Martinho do Porto. He'll tell us more about his life here, growing up on the Silver Coast and in the Bay here. He went to Australia as a young man and stayed there for a few decades. And he's back now, and he is part of the Blue Sky real estate company here in Sao Martinho do Porto. A lovely bloke. And can answer your questions about the Silver Coast and Sao Martinho do Porto. Just be nice having a chat and hanging out with him. And then another trigger alert at 20 to 9 when the Portugeeza joins me. Now, the Portugeeza has just released, fluffed. Not sure what the best description is. He's created his own action figure. Now, there have been a lot of these action figures around, haven't there, just recently? This one, and it did cause some confusion. Thinking that it was a deep fake kind of thing, an AI generated thing, because it had two left feet. Now, of course, he does have two left feet. So it's just complete accuracy with this remarkable merchandise that you can get from the Portugeeza, and he'll tell us more about it. I did ask him to make a correction on it. There was no vegan ephemera or parts of the Action Man kit. So he has changed that, especially for me. But there it is. There it is as it stands at the moment with... Are they YouTube underpants or are they YouTube swimming trunks? We can ask him when he joins us. There's a dog in there, of course. More about the Portugeeza Ultimate Vlogger Edition action figure when he joins us at 8:40. But yes, I keep threatening, don't I, to play the trigger. I'll do that now because we've got an interesting news item with Portugal sticking it to the man in Washington. Now, I do recognise it's a bit of fun, this, and it always was. And sometimes that can go into an upsetting area for people. So seriously, if talking about Trump or what's going on in the States at the moment is upsetting for you, that is not my intention. Just trying to bring a bit of, some intelligence and humour to the situation. So let's see how we get on with that, shall we? Good morning to you, T-Duck. Chatting with you behind the scenes before the show this morning. Hence the slightly late start, sorry. Just realised, oh my God, it's 1 minute past 8, got to go. Good morning, everyone from Gemini. How you doing, Gemini? Jackie also. João Ernesto, Bom Dia, guys, from Jackie. Bom Dia, Portugal, from João Ernesto. And happy anniversary to Mrs. Duck. Oh, my word, how lovely. We were married 34 years ago today. How wonderful. Parabéns a vocês, to you too. How are you celebrating? Yeah, Gemini, congratulations. A couple of glasses of espumante. Oh, that's a whole row of drinks for them to enjoy today. Espumante, a cocktail, caneca of beer, and a whiskey, I think, to finish there. Well done. And yesterday marked our 4 years living in Portugal. How lovely. Many reasons to celebrate then. Yeah, I wrote something this morning. Just occurred to me, did a little bit of a check-in over at the Portugal Club. And some words that came to me this morning were each day, this day might be precious and holy. Let's make it so. Looks like the Ducks are going to be having a precious and holy day today, celebrating those two milestones there. We're celebrating by getting our Portuguese will registered. Wow, rock and roll! You two, marvellous. Wow, you really know how to enjoy yourselves. Pam also here with a Bon Dia, and Mike and Karen Bon Dia Gumpers. So, morning campers, bon dia gumpers here, and congrats, Mr. and Mrs. Quacky, Quacky, on an amazing achievement. Congrats to you both. Okay, so we've exchanged a few greetings this morning. That's always lovely to do on the Good Morning Portugal show. And now it's time to get into the news item of the day that caught my eye. And this is US pressure on Portuguese businesses to drop diversity programs sharply rebuffed. If you want to see what a sharp rebuff looks like, this could be it this morning. I find this very interesting. And as I say, let's see if we can have not a heated conversation, perhaps maybe a little bit of humor and some intelligence around this as well. Let's take a little look at why, if this does push your buttons, why it does. It could be interesting to take a look at that, which I think is always the opportunity, isn't it? When we get triggered or upset about something, it probably says more about us than it does about the thing that got us going in the first place, that activated us. So on that note, let me just get me tabs in a row here. You'll see a bit of reporting from Natasha Don, excuse me, in the Portugal residence. Still something lurking, isn't there? What lurks beneath? US pressure on Portuguese businesses then to drop diversity programs sharply rebuffed. And I think we've got Natasha Don here in the resident. First of all, suggesting that this whole thing has been extraordinarily poorly reported. And she's attempting to put that right here. And there is a diversity picture, different colored fists. It's funny, isn't it, how we kind of shorthand, no pun intended, we shorthand all these things, don't we, and come up with an image. Now is a moment to take a strong stand. And my graphic you may have seen this morning is Zé Povinho pushing back. I was going to go for a middle finger emblem, but we've got our very own Zé Povinho giving it a toma. Now, I was wondering, toma is sometimes you see on the Zé Povinho statue. Maybe I need to show you this so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But TOMA, that could be an abbreviation aimed at the United States administration, isn't it? Take one of these, meus americanos, possibly, for toma. I'll show you the picture, I mean, in just a moment as well. But let me just download that, and then we'll get into this and have a chat about it. And yes, Sao Martinho Do Porto, born and bred. Philippe joining us at 8:20, so we better crack on. And then the Portugeeza joining us at 8:40. Goodness only knows what mischief he'll be bringing with him this morning. Okay, so there you are. There's the article. And we'll come back to Zé Povinho in a moment. The extraordinarily poorly reported pressure being exerted by the United States on European companies, not just Portugal, to drop diversity programs has been sharply rebuffed by two Portuguese official bodies, while the government, it doesn't like an official Portuguese body first thing in the morning, while the government remains in what must be an uncomfortable silence. Now, that's a strong suite, isn't it, of many political, of many governments. It's a political strategy, isn't it, to just not say anything. Let's see if it blows over, shall we? It also works at home, I can tell you, as well. Even more surprising is that the strong-arm response comes from the mouths of two professional women. As Echo Online picked up this week from a report in Euronews, we haven't been there for a while, the US government is sending out letters to European companies that supply its embassies and military bases, informing them that they should abandon their diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, their DEI as it's known, which in itself is a triggering acronym all across America and many other parts of the world now, or risk not receiving further payments. Is that blackmail? Possibly. There's all sorts of ways of looking at this, and let's endeavor to do that this morning. With the wider world seriously discussing the possibility that the US administration of Donald Trump has slipped into a form of fascism. She hasn't gone the full F there. She's gone the FOF, the form of fascism. Portugal's Commission for Equality in Labour and Employment has admitted that the letters represent an unacceptable intrusion into the internal politics of third states, as well as of the European Union itself. Now, I've got a cracking idea when it comes to this, how we might use this ourselves as citizens, of course. Where is Zé Povinho? He's waiting in the wings to come and talk to you about this. Yeah, there we go. And I've spotted a massive typo I've called it Portugal. this morning responds to, in my haste and my excitement to speak about this. What does TOMA stand for in this? Can we come up with an acronym that's a response from Portugal to the US government? And I'll put that right later on. I'll stick an A in there a little bit later on. Right. Okay. Back to the Bom Dia Daily and this DEI-based news reporting here. They are a sign of regression in human rights, in bunny ears, claims somebody here, which should not be entertained, even if the companies are concerned about losing lucrative contracts. Time to take a stand. As site's president, Carla Tavares, tells Echo, there may initially be a temptation on the part of some companies to give in to these pressures, but there is a set of values and European legislation that advocates the exact opposite. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, you're allowing one set of government interference, but not another. It would be one way of looking at that. This is the moment for the European Union and the member states to be even firmer in affirming their values of defending human rights and combating all forms of discrimination. She stresses what exactly is going to happen. And I mean, DEI is a form of discrimination, is it not? I suppose as well. What exactly is going to happen? Echo poses this question to hear that, if necessary, site will notify the government, currently focused on trying to win an election campaign, there is that as well, of any worrying situation that violates the rules, not only of its national law, but also European law. Grow some might be the message to the Portuguese politicians. Say what you think about this so people can make their own minds up about you rather than staying stum on it. Dotting I's and crossing T's, Echo has reached out to the government to receive, it says, only silence. And it's the Homer withdrawing into the hedge, isn't it? An initial approach, or that little stuffed animal creature. Okay, hold on a minute. Where did we get to? Only silence. An initial approach to the Ministry of Economy saw Echo referred to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which so far has said nothing. Enter another professional woman, Monica Canario, of the Portuguese Association for Diversity and Inclusion, the APDI. She too is very concerned about the letters sent to the Portuguese companies, says Echo. They show a lack of respect for the sovereignty of countries and organizations. Canario tells the paper, Europe is Europe. The United States is the United States. However, we are very concerned about the stance taken by the United States, she said, suggesting it's an example of how Donald Trump's administration is going to deal with the world over the next 4 years. In the eyes of Monica Canario and Carla Tavares, it is up to companies in receipt of these letters to take a stand and believe that there are those in the market who can replace the US government as a client. Now, that was quite the quandary, I suspect, because those contracts might be quite lucrative. But yes, of course, if you feel strongly about this, it sounds like the moral thing to do is if you don't want the American administration poking its nose into your affairs and telling you how to run your company, you should perhaps not do business with them, as is being suggested here. And we've had this, haven't we? Again, going back for the last 5 years, it's like with YouTube being blacklisted, delisted from YouTube. So it's a private company. I suppose the American administration, it depends on how you look at it, is or isn't a private company. The suggestion that it's being run now like a private company. So that would apply then, would it not? Is you're dealing with a company. If you don't like what they're demanding, you don't do business with them, perhaps. We warn companies not to go along with these policies, says Canario, speaking for APDI, and recalling that both France and Spain have already said as much, if not more, while letters have also been received by companies in Belgium, Italy, Central and Eastern Europe. Echo adds that associations like SITE and APDI in the 25 member states that promote diversity charters are finalizing an open letter to European institutions demanding that legislation be drawn up to protect the most vulnerable and underrepresented groups. I thought that was already in place, but that's interesting. It's no secret that Donald Trump has never been a fan of DEI programs. It is also no secret that other people in business may find these programs tiresome, but refusing to do business with companies that give the most vulnerable in society a chance to be included does indeed smack of fascism there. Okay, so what do you make of that? The government, not the Portuguese, the American administration leaning in and making its demands upon Portuguese companies that if they deal with things in a certain way, they won't do business with them anymore. I guess that's business, isn't it? That is business. A morning from Hugh. Parabéns aos patos. That's lovely to the ducks there. I'm off to Porto for a couple of days next week. Not been since pre-pandemic. I think it's got a bit busier, Pam, since then. Bon dia. Not just because of the pandemic, but it's increasingly popular. Go for it, Trump. What a brilliant chess game he's playing, says Hugh. And Bon dia, says Marcus as well. PT Country good morning to you. And I think it's worth responding to anti-DA letters with questions. Who isn't equal? Who shouldn't be included? Yeah. What types of people shouldn't be there? Get specific. That's right. It's a blunt tool, isn't it, at the moment? I don't mean Donald Trump, although some people do call him that, a blunt tool. It does raise some very interesting questions, and that's where the intelligence is, isn't it? Is asking questions and having a conversation. Thank you, Sarah, for that. Now, we might turn the tables as well. Let me see if this thought process works with you. If Donald Trump and the administration are saying to Portuguese companies, we don't like you, we won't do business with you. We don't like what you're standing for or operating, so we will withdraw our business. Why don't citizens do that as well? We don't like your government policies. We're not going to pay our taxes. Wouldn't that be the same sort of thing? It's like, you don't represent us, so we don't want to be associated with you. Why not? Why not? Could that work? Should we all write letters to our government saying, don't like that policy, so I'm going to withdraw my relationship, my contract with you, to pay tax? How about that? How about that as a turnaround on this particular news article here? Philippe is joining us behind the scenes. He might be wondering if we talk about this sort of thing every day. Probably best not to talk about it every day, but certainly an interesting topic this morning. US pressure on Portuguese businesses then to drop diversity programs, sharply rebuffed. And I think the Portuguese companies giving a good old Zé Pavinho response to that. And I can only apologize for my typo here, but the graphic that will go with that segment is Zé Pavinho sticking it to the man in Washington there. Toma, what does it stand for? I will add the A later. What might that acronym, well, the word Toma, what might we translate that to? The T could stand for Trump and the A could stand for America. How might we reinvent and decode that? Your weather today, sorry to say, and I think I was chatting with this about Philippe, actually. He remembers big rainstorms like this as a kid growing up in Sao Martinho Do Porto. We can talk to him about I don't think he can hear us. Can you not hear me, Philippe? But you can hear me. No, he's pointing to his ear. He might not be hearing me so well at the moment. It might be one of those situations where we can hear him like I had the other day, but he can't hear us. We shall see. We shall see in just a moment. While he's figuring that out, let's just go to, I think this was in the Resident as well. The weather changing then for the rest of the week. Yeah, goodbye sunshine. Hello rain. Weather takes a gloomy turn then. Rain and cooler weather to return by week's end. Rain is on its way back to mainland Portugal starting Thursday today, along with a noticeable drop in temperatures, according to the Portuguese Sea and Atmosphere Institute, which we commonly know as IPMA. IPMA meteorologist Maria João Frada predicts a cool down of 4 degrees centigrade to 8 degrees centigrade by the end of the week, especially on Friday. Oh, it's not going to be a feel-good Friday. And for those of us going to Coimbra this weekend with Expats Portugal, I think it's the advice, the travel advice is to perhaps take a guarda-chuva and a number of layers with you. Alongside the rain, there will be dust in the air as well. We've got some North African dust, everybody, blowing in from North Africa. Jimmy, will you pack it in? I'm trying to do a live stream here, especially across the south and centre of the country. Skies are turning cloudier today, Frada told. This was yesterday's reporting, but you get the gist. At least we haven't got a storm with a name. We had Martinho. We had Nuria. We don't have something beginning with Una or anything like that. Not yet, anyway. Let's give them a nice big round of applause. And there they are. Can you hear us? Olá Bom Dia.
Morning, Carl.
Hey.
I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you. Sorry.
You can't?
I can't hear you.
Well, this could be interesting then. Are you a good lip reader? Is that what's happening here? Can you read my lips? How are you today?
I just can't hear you.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna send him. Actually, do you know what I'll do? I'll give him a ring. Let's see if we can give him a ring. Let's get the phone connected, and we'll give him a buzz on the phone and see if he can answer that and take the call. And what we can do is can bring his picture up. We can bring the video up on the screen, can't we? But we can. So hold on a minute. I've got to connect the phone to Bluetooth. Step one, and then we'll get him on. Can someone send him a message on the screen? Carl is trying to connect to you by phone at the moment, Philippe. We wanted to chat to this lovely guy in Sao Martinho Do Porto. I have him down in my phone book as Philippe Blue Sky. That's a nice thing to be known by, is it not? Let's see if this is going to ring for us. There we go. Let me see if that works. I wonder if he's going to answer. Hello. Hi, Philippe. We've got you on the phone, I believe. Are you there? Don't seem to have either now.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, excellent. Okay. I've lost your image on the screen, sadly. If you come back on screen with your video, we can hear you by phone and what? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. We'll do it that way. We'll do it that way. I've got another option that's come to mind. If I go to WhatsApp inside on my phone now, no, I'm going to call you back. I'll call you back via my computer. All right. So stand by, and we'll see if we can do it this way. Oh my goodness, this is exciting this morning, isn't it? So video call then. Look for Mr. Blue Sky. As immortalized by the Electric Light Orchestra. Let me see. Why is he not coming up in? Oh, there he is. Philippe Blue Sky. Video call to him, and then we might be able to bring him up on the screen that way. Okay. Camera is being used by another app. Oh, okay. Talk to me now, Philippe.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Perfectly.
Okay, I think we probably can't see you as it stands, but we can hear you. So how are you this morning? How's it going, apart from the tech difficulties?
It's wonderful. The weather's hasn't rained yet, so
it hasn't rained yet.
But,
that's excellent. All right.
Well, either way, it's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. And you were telling me when I was moaning, as I do, about the rain the other day, Philippe, that it was like this. You remember it being like this as a kid growing up in Sao Martinho Do Porto? Presumably this summer year.
We had the 4 seasons back in the day. Like this time of the year, normally it was like still rainy.
Yeah.
Like normally, like in Portuguese, you said that the month of April is Abril.
Yeah.
Águas Mil.
Abril, Águas Mil. All right. So stop moaning, Munson, about that. You are part of the Blue Sky real estate agency here in Sao Martinho do Porto, where I live, where I'm glad to call it home. And it's something very interesting is happening in this town, which you might like to comment on. But tell us a little bit about you and your story. You grew up here and you were, I think, born locally, but you went away to Australia for a little bit.
Yeah, so I was born in, my dad is French, so I was born in Brittany.
Oh, wow.
I came to Sao Martinho. Yes, I came to Sao Martinho at the age of 5. My mum's from Lisbon originally, but my grandmother's from me. And so I moved here, I was 5 years old, done pretty much primary school, high school here. And then at the age of 20, I took off to Sydney. And just for a couple of years, ended up staying 30.
It happens, doesn't it? Right.
And but always came maybe on holidays. This is home.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I decided to come back for good.
Yes.
Even Australia is a great country, beautiful beaches, but there's something about this place that's special.
We've got a beautiful beach as well here, haven't we? That you grew up on.
Oh yes, and it's the people. I think it's a lot to do with the culture here.
Yes.
Everyone's friendly. You feel like the show Cheese, when everyone knows your name.
Yes.
At Sao Martinho is the same thing. Everyone knows you. Everyone's there's always a story to tell. There's always You know, if you need anything, there's always someone to look after you or help you with in some way. So
I've seen that.
yeah.
I've seen that. It's amazing because there you are. We can't see the moving pictures of you, but we've got a nice still of you on the beach. Sorry about the Portugeezer with the sheep, but there's you on the left. And yeah, you're talking about the vibe in this town. And I met you in the cafe. It's my favorite cafe. Don't tell the others. And I see you coming in there, and that's where we met and chatted. But yeah, you stop and chat to everybody because you've known them for a lot of them for all your life, right? That must be a wonderful feeling.
Very much. Yeah, yeah. The great thing about it is, you know, being away for so long, you always get that doubt that when you come back is that, you know, if it's going to be the same that when you left, or the people going to have the same feelings or you know, friendship that you had when you left. And it's even better because now that, you know, you're a grown man, like all these that you used to know when you were a kid.
Yes.
They're happy to see you, and you know, I couldn't ask for any more than.
That's wonderful. Do they say, "Oh my, how you've grown"?
Yes, yes. Oh, I say, oh, you're old now.
Thanks.
You know,
Yeah, thanks, Grandma. Right.
You age.
Yes. Right. Australia. Is that a popular destination for Portuguese people? Is there a big Portuguese community in Australia?
I think it was basically in the 60s and 70s, yes, because there was, like, especially the city of Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, it was underpopulated, and they had like some sort of deal at the time with Portuguese people with families. They will go to Australia, and my in-laws went to Australia in the early 80s, and in the 90s they decided to come back to Portugal and try to make it back and stay. Didn't work out, so they went back. My wife, that is my wife now, back then, she stayed, and I love beaches, I love water sports, and Australia was always like a destination that anyone who likes water sports would say, "I'd love to go to Australia."
Yeah,
and that was my plan. Just been there, just enjoy it for a couple of years, and then come back. um, and it didn't work that way. Not because I wanted to come back and I couldn't. It's just it was really a nice place to be at the time, but always felt there was something missing, like that community vibe. That
interesting.
You know,
Yeah,
know your neighbor. You know, talking to your neighbor every morning. At your front door, my front door is always open, and I live next to Natalina, and I make sure that my front door is open because I see all the old people going for coffee. You say good morning.
beautiful.
So I don't think there's a better way to start your day that, you know, having a chat with someone before going to work or whatever you do.
How lovely. And your office, your blue sky office, which you'll talk about, is just walking distance as well. It's really, what a lovely life you've returned to and recreated here.
Yeah.
And you said you used to come home for the holidays. Is that in quite a traditional Portuguese way where you'd come back in during the festa time and hang out with family and be with the people you grew up with?
Yes, definitely.
Right.
Definitely. It's always like a lot of people, like I was lucky enough that I worked for airline that could travel a bit around Asia and Australia. But a lot of people don't know much of Australia because they save their holidays on purpose to come to Portugal because it's a long trip.
Yes.
So it's a tradition, you know. Come summer, especially Sao Martinho is a small place. There's a lot of people in the 90s that left Portugal to go overseas.
Right.
But when it comes summer, everyone comes back. So everyone's together. It's just like you never left in a certain way.
Yeah, that's what a lot of foreigners don't realize. I think they might live near a small town or village, and it's like there's no one there for a lot of the year, and then the festa comes, and it's a great it's a great homecoming, isn't it? A lot of people obviously coming from France, but then people like you as well coming back from further afield and seeing everybody. And I didn't realize what was going on at first, but I just think that's such a lovely thing. You know, it's a way of making the diaspora and the saudade a little bit more bearable, isn't it? To have that annual reunion.
100%. You're looking forward. You got that thing, like, well, many times we used to go back and we used to get to the airport in Sydney and we used to go in a cab to go home, and we'll say, "Can we go back?"
Yeah.
We send back and get back on the plane and go, because it's just that it's not even about like as much as the beaches and the surroundings. It's beautiful. Portugal is beautiful. It's a lot to do with actually the people.
Yeah, right.
Because you can have a beautiful place, but if the people are not friendly, you're not going to like it.
Yeah.
You're not going to stay for long.
Yes. Yeah.
And I got a perfect example. Like many years ago, we came on holidays, and I needed a pot to make a seafood rice for some friends.
Like
and
you do. Like you do.
So I went to the Pensão Sant Antonio, next to the Bombeiros, the fireplace.
Yes.
And I hadn't seen like an easy 3-4 years. And I got there and I said, listen, I'm struggling. I need a pot. Hey, yeah, go in the kitchen and go get one.
Really?
I just need it for tomorrow for lunch.
Yeah.
So all those little things, like it's special. For me, it's special.
So is that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I must have been, that's the modern saudade, isn't it? The grandmas and granddads seeing their grandkids go back, after the holidays, and looking forward to seeing them again in the next summer holiday. How lovely. But you're back now. You're back now, and you've gone into real estate. Was that always the plan? And I've got your website here.
I had no idea. So through COVID, I was just working for Richard Branson in Virgin Australia for 23 years, and through COVID they offer voluntary redundancies for people who were there for more than 20 years. And I didn't know where the airline was going to end up. I didn't know how COVID was going to turn up. And we decided to come back, but I had no idea what I was going to do.
Oh, really?
No idea. So I got this like Fabi's the owner of the company. I know his wife since we were kids. I know him not as long, but I know him well. And he asked me, what are you doing at the moment? I said, I got no idea what I'm going to do for now. And he said, would you be interested in, it was just him. He said, would you be interested in kind of work with me?
Yeah.
And I said, why not? He said, you got the French, you got the English. And his idea was, and that was what was appealing to me, I don't feel like we're real estate, just a real estate. We tend to make sure that whoever comes to Sao Martinho stays in Sao Martinho.
Yeah,
made the right choice to come to Sao Martinho. We explain everything. We're not here just to sell properties. I said that it's a lifestyle. You try to sell someone a lifestyle, a better life.
Yes.
Something that, they're going to enjoy. You're going to see them pass on the street and hey, Phil, like that vibe of bringing more people in that's going to take advantage in a good way of this place.
Yeah. And there's something going on here for sure. I mean, I drove into town, it'll be 8 years ago in September. And I just fell in love. The T junction, where people don't really understand how the road works. Give way to the left. But anyway, it's a funny situation down there, isn't it? But you know exactly where I mean. Right.
And the parking.
Yes. Yeah. Just leave your car on the street while you pop into get your newspaper there. And we pulled into there in our camper van, which later broke down in this town. And I just got out and I said, this is it. This place is so beautiful. Now, the thing about Portugal is you go to another place and you have the same experience. Like, this is incredible. But Sao Martinho definitely made a huge impact on us. And if we hadn't moved anywhere else, we'd have been quite happy. I moved away for work purposes. But it's getting there on a September day and seeing that beach and like having the beach yourself on a sunny September day with the kids, it was magical. It was magical, and just to stay with us forever. That feeling, and it's a feeling we were reminded of pretty much every day when we drive down there. So there's definitely something about this wonderful place. And do you think there's something going on at the moment? Is there some new interest? Is there a new sort of little mini boom going on for the town?
I think Sao Martinho has always been like in the 90s. You wouldn't believe how busy and how vibey Sao Martinho was in the 90s. Like bars with live music, nightclubs, restaurants everywhere, and you will be packed in summer and in winter on the weekends.
Wow!
It was like a tradition to come to Sao Martinho even in winter on the weekends. And now I think when was the recession, the euro coming in, those places like Sao Martinho tourist attractions, they got pretty much affected.
All right.
You know, like, because back in the 90s was a cheap place for foreigners to come on holidays. The scooters compared to the pound, the American dollar, and so it sort of died for many years.
Oh dear.
And people just move to other countries, others stay, but didn't sort of, not, I'm not saying that they've given up on the town, but it fell asleep for a while. That's the way I
It's
see it.
Sleeping Beauty, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And what I feel now, like people like me, they went for many reasons to other countries for a while, are coming back.
Yeah.
So are coming back because they love this place, but they're coming back with a plus that they've been away in other countries.
Yeah.
And it means they can bring new ideas, new philosophies, different way of seeing things. And we see this still like a raw diamond. I was telling you that the other day.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Someone thinks it's still a raw diamond.
Yes.
That it's got a massive potential on all fronts. You know, we don't want something to be like Ibiza or to be like down Algarve, like too packed. But it's a place. It's not a place for everyone.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a lot of people that, you know, or it's too quiet, or
Yes.
it's, you know, there's not enough things to do. So it's not for everyone. But even those people that it's not for everyone to leave, they still enjoy coming in.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
know, like the safety.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yes.
You know, you can be out until 2:00 in the morning, walking your dog by yourself. Anyway, nothing's going to happen to you.
Yeah, and you can swim in that bay. Talking of safety, where else can you swim safely in the Atlantic?
Yeah, and you know, like how many people just need someone to be done. You go to Natalin. That's why the Natalin should be actually a tourism place, information desk place, because if you need anything, that's the place to go and ask. You need a plumber, you go to Natalin, ask for a plumber. You need to know what time is the bus to Caldas, you go to Natalin and ask.
Perfect.
You know?
Perfect. Yeah, that is the informal and organic system, isn't it? Right. In these last couple of minutes, Philippe, it's been great that we've been able to have a chat with you despite the technical difficulties earlier on. Got a beautiful picture of San Martinho there. And you were saying your approach is to introduce people to the Sao Martinho Do Porto, the Silver Coast lifestyle. That's the vibe then of Blue Sky, is it? People should get in touch if they want a friendly introduction to the whole area, not just to their dream home.
Yeah, and even when it comes to, because for me, like, and I speak Portuguese fluently. Yeah, it was hard to come back and deal with some bureaucracy stuff.
Oh yes,
you know, because that's one of the things. When you come to Portugal, you need to see the bad, the good and the bad. So the bad was not that bad. Is to deal with paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay. So unfortunately, I had to do that, and I actually at the beginning done with lawyers, and then you start learning the process, and you starting thinking like, I can do this myself.
Yes.
You know, it's not that complicated. And that's what I wanted to show people as well. Like I'm happy to, and I do that, happy to people to, you know, they need to go to Alcobaça for some, even to put water in their property, change the name of the owner to their name. I'll do that. It seems complicated. It seems like stressful, but it's pretty straightforward.
Not when you have a friend. Not when you have a friend called Philippe at Blue Sky Real Estate. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been really great. I've been wanting to meet you and shake your hand in the cafe, and we did that, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago? And now you're on the show. So come back. Yeah. Talking of San Martinho being Sleeping Beauty, that might make you Prince Charming. You know, you might have come back to kiss San Martinho to wake her up.
I'm not the only one. There's a few people who a lot of interest in San Martinho, and they're planning to do great stuff in Sao Martinho, and you know, and make sure that the people that, like we were talking before, sorry to quick, people who come to Sao Martinho live in Sao Martinho. For me, they're from Sao Martinho. Yeah. If you live here now, there's no where you're from. No, I live here.
Yes.
So I'm from here.
One of us.
Make sure that we do accept those people, and make sure that they're going to be part of Sao Martinho, the culture, and give them more information and you know, like make them feel welcome. I know they already do, but make them feel welcome and make them feel that they're part of the village.
I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. From someone who was born and grew up here, went away, came back again, and doing what you're doing, it's lovely to feel that welcome. So I'll see you.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon. Maybe later on for a coffee in the cafe.
Definitely.
Okay, mate.
Definitely.
Bon dia. Have a great day. Thank you for
Bon
being on the
dia.
Good Morning
Thanks for the
Portugal show.
opportunity.
Cheers, mate.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye for now.
All right.
Bye
See
for
ya.
now.
Bye.
There he is, Philippe, and I'll put the link to Blue Sky on the screen again there. fab-bluesky.pt if you want to find out more and get a personal introduction and be shown around by Philippe and the team over there. Fantastic. We're going to give. Cheers, mate. All right. All the best. Bye for now. Ciao. 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 Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Right. He's on WhatsApp this morning. That was a bit unusual, wasn't it? Let's just conclude that call over there and give him a nice round of applause. It's the Portugeeza, everybody. Oh, walk and talk, is
Bom
it?
dia. Bom dia. Bom dia,
Right.
everybody. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You're loud and clear. Hold on, that's one. Right, let me just... Oh, who's this morning that we're seeing?
That's Lucas, the young fella. He's not a young fella. He's 13 years old.
We met Lucas last time, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, he's a lovely, lovely guy. Lovely guy. Lives with us permanently now.
All right. Oh, yes, that's right. He was the one you looked after a couple of weeks, then you couldn't give him back.
Yeah, stupid idea.
Right.
Anyway.
Where are you? It looks quite civilized there. You're not in the outback, are you?
This is Travanca de Lagos. This is my house behind me.
Very nice.
No, of course it's not my house. This is one of the 800 euros a month, I believe these Portuguese people earn. And this is the kind of houses they live in. It make sense. Yeah.
They own it.
Yes.
They own the house, Tony. Their family owned it. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. No, to be fair, 30 years ago they bought it for probably 10 grand.
Yeah,
before all the bloody Americans came and drove all the prices up.
All right. Right. You're going to be rich soon. I see oh, I've got a bit of feedback. Can you turn your phone down a little bit or put your earpiece in or something like that?
I don't know how to solve it. Maybe if I hold the phone further away.
I'll keep my voice down as well. But you've launched an action figure, so it looks like you'll be very wealthy soon and be able to afford a big house in Travanca like that.
Yeah, it's very realistic as well. I mean, if you get there, that's pretty much what my physique looks like. Yeah,
that's a WYSIWYG, the WYSIWYG, including the 2 left feet, I believe, as well. Very, very good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What was I going to say? I heard you talking about Sao Martinho Do Porto, and you know that I used to live in Nazaré.
Yes,
indeed, and Sao Martinho Do Porto was a lovely day out for us from Nazaré. I mean, obviously Nazaré has its own kind of hype, doesn't it? But I think as a, dare I say, as a family-friendly option, Sao Martinho is probably a little better.
Yeah,
a little bit calmer, safer place to swim.
Yep.
The sand dune is a lot of fun.
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that.
With Philippe, there was lived in 30 years in Australia as well. Not unlike yourself, a few years in Oz. Okay, that's a nice looking gaff as well, isn't it?
800 euros a month. That's all the salary you need to have a gaff like that in Travanca.
It doesn't work like that. Now, the people who own the town have tuned in as well. Lord and Lady Travanca are actually joining us and watching the show. So behave yourself. Or
their house is much bigger than that. Much bigger. They're on 850 euros a month. Apparently, they're the richest people in Travanca.
Right? Are you saying all of this because you've become a geopolitical economist expert in the last couple of weeks? Is this how you know?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Of course. On top of being a vaccines expert, war expert. All these things, geopolitical. I just wanted to show you something that caught my attention. You were talking about the road in Sao Martinho and how it's quite they're quite odd. These roads are all over Portugal, and I know exactly what you're talking about because this is the road that goes into Travanca de Lagos.
Yep.
And it's quite dangerous, in my opinion, how it works.
Careful. Then.
Now you would be see this road here.
It looks lethal.
And if I go like this, it goes in a straight line down here. but it's not the same road. This road curves around this corner.
Yeah. Obviously.
So what happens is, yeah, exactly. There's many of these in Portugal. So what happens is you'll be coming down here.
Yeah.
And this person, I mean, to be fair, to their credit, they have at least put a stop sign here, but most people simply don't see it. And I mean, look at the state of it. Yeah, so most people driving down here, you know, you could be forgiven for for thinking that that's just a straight run. But of course, really, you have to stop. You have to stop and give way to that bend.
Yes, indeed.
And these are everywhere in Portugal. I've got a feeling that most of the roads in Portugal, the junctions, are designed by people who don't drive, or by people who would like to see more accidents. But maybe I'm just being a bit cynical.
You do seem to be in a little bit of a cynical mood this morning, I have to say. Recent videos, then. What have you been reporting on the Portugeeza YouTube channel?
Well, I reported on the what have I can't remember. I put a video up today that you're not going to watch. Trigger warning.
Is that me personally or everybody else?
Well, everybody, but possibly you in particular.
Okay. Was it violent?
Yeah. Worse.
Okay, all right. I'm going to tell it. I'll remind you what you've been posting just recently.
Go on then.
You have posted EU raid on private savings. It's for your own.
Oh, yeah.
There's a kind of EU fat cap there. Is it true that Tony Blair's going to be taking over from Klaus Schwab?
I don't know. Nothing would surprise me. That's what they do.
Okay.
That's what they do. Yeah.
You can buy a Portuguese visa for €3,500 euros. I need to ask you about that. And of course, what we spoke about on Monday, when the sun shines, you strip down to the waist and get your grouting tool out. And we've heard about that. And is vegan better than keto? You also spoke about, I think. That was a popular video.
It didn't do too badly. I gained a subscriber and lost a subscriber, so that was better than what I thought would happen. But I suspect I've possibly already lost all the haters. But yeah, funnily enough, all I was trying to say is, I think that possibly uniquely, I've experienced going on keto and then going on vegan diet not very long afterwards. And I had exactly the same experience, because anyone who's gone on keto, that we all talk about the same thing, anyone who's been on the ketogenic diet. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's where you cut out sugar and carbs and exchange it for fat. So if you're a meat eater, that means you can basically eat as much bacon as you want and cheese and everything like that, and you actually lose weight. But losing weight, if you've got weight, is a nice thing, but that's not the main thing that you get from it. I think a lot of people are like me, were quite impressed. You didn't even know you had brain fog. It's like having one of those super drugs that increases your brain power. And if you've been crashing in the afternoon, if you've had that experience where you've had lunch and then a couple of hours later you've been crashing and felt like really tired, that goes away. So keto is really a miracle like that. And the funny thing is, when I stopped keto, I didn't go back to eating as much sugar and processed food and carbs. So a lot of those old symptoms didn't come back. But my point was, when I went on the vegan diet, I had a similar, if not as strong experience. And what had occurred to me is that it's probably not the keto or the vegan, it's the quitting sugar and cutting carbs.
Absolutely.
And cutting processed food. And it almost seems like a no-brainer, because of course this is what our mums said to us when we were kids, didn't they? You know what I mean? Quit the sugary.
Don't eat so much sugar. Yeah, well, a lot of mums still say that, for sure. Bom dia to you from Jackie this morning. Losing weight by sitting in the coronary care unit at the hospital. That's the keto, possibly, as well. And Bom dia, Antonio from. Oh, that's not for you. He's not talking to you. He's talking to Antonio, who's also here. Good morning to you, Antonio F. Great to see you. The other thing on here, obviously of interest to people moving to Portugal, Portuguese visas for $3,500. What's that about?
Yeah, well, this was I sort of said tongue in cheek, really, that these two businessmen were probably more efficient than AIMA or CEF, and that's probably why they were able to do this for so many years. But they were basically providing Indian mostly, but also Bangladesh and Pakistani people with they were calling it an all-inclusive visa package, obviously false information. So, for example, you'll know when you come to Portugal, you have to have various things, like you have to have an address, you have to have a bank account with a certain amount of money, a job offer, all this sort of thing to get the visa. So these people were setting up all of these kind of fake addresses,
Wow.
and applying for visas on these people's behalf, who of course would then come in and have no money, no job, and all the rest of it. And a lot of the time
they've been busted, have they?
they've been busted, yeah, and they've been, as I found out, preventive custody apparently means the same as like remanded in custody. So they've been locked up now to stop them from doing it again. And of course, my thought was that apparently they've made 200,000 euros doing this.
Yeah.
And my thought, whenever I see things like this, is of course, well, they probably didn't get caught for all of what they've done.
Yeah.
And there's probably lots of other people still doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, well, that's interesting. And I guess when things get really tight and tough, these sorts of things emerge as well, don't they? The whole idea, apparently, your neighbour here, the whole idea about moving to Portugal is to stop eating crap food, i.e. processed food. Well, it might be part of it. Barrett, good morning to you. See you here.
Well,
now, go on.
Well, people get upset with me when I say this, but I mean, if you think you're going to come here and get a nice Mediterranean diet, just forget it. This is up there with 300 days of sunshine, in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but don't come here for the food. It doesn't make any sense.
That's never bothered you. Although, to be fair, if you want to eat the Mediterranean diet, you can organise that for yourself here quite easily, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that at Asda as well, can't you?
Yes, that's true. So don't come here. Stay in, I don't know, Welling Garden City. Go to Asda and eat the Mediterranean diet there.
On a roundabout in Hemel.
Or Boston or wherever else. Right. The two more things I want to ask you before you go this morning. What were you doing in that stream that's on your YouTube channel there? I've been meaning to ask you this for a long time. What's happening there?
Which stream?
You are lying in a stream for some reason, giving a victory salute.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, well, what that was, it was super hot.
Yes.
I think it was about 42 degrees or something. And we were on our way to a river beach.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't, I'm just going to turn around because there's some guy streaming right ahead of me, and that's not going to work really well.
That's really authentic. Very authentic.
There's something. Does anyone else get this? What is it with Portuguese people when they get in a car? They're the most beautiful people. I've just had this woman come past me. She's already tried to run me over once.
Yeah.
And she's got this massive grimace on her face. So I just want to say to her, listen, pedestrians have bloody right of way, number one. And number two, this is my bloody street. Who are you? I've never seen your car before. Get that bloody look off your face.
Well, we might get to see that live, which could be exciting this morning. So this video, you're cooling your oysters, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were still about 15 minutes away, so I just laid down in the stream. People thought it was very, very funny. So
I bet.
There is an actor in Welland. It's Waitrose territory. Of course it is.
I bet you could buy a Mediterranean diet sort of set meal in Waitrose as well, can't you?
I just wanted to say something that's quite good news. I mean, a lot of people probably looked at the.
Hold on a minute. What? What did you just say?
A lot of people probably looked at the weather and it showed that it's raining today. But I've had a look on Windy, and it seems like that rain front is not going to come as far as central Portugal till late afternoon.
Okay.
So it's going to be a bit overcast. Got some blue sky over there. You can see the contrast with the white lines, proving that it's blue.
Yeah.
And Yeah. So if you want to get out, it's going to be rainy after that for about 5 days. So this is probably your last chance for a few days to get out.
Yes.
So I would suggest, if you can, even if it's going and warming a seat in a local cafe or something, get out there now. I've got digging to do. I've got that trailer in my yard again. So I'm going to be out there.
You're going to be stripped down to the waist again, looking like your action figure. Finally,
strip down to the ankles. Strip down to the ankles.
Oh no! Can we have any more clues on this controversial video that's dropping today, as the young folks say? Skibbity Riz, Ohio.
Stripped down to the ankles.
That's your video.
That's the clue. It's not me. Somebody was found stripped down to the ankles.
No. Okay, yes. I know. I know the one you mean. Okay, I won't be watching.
I did it. I went there.
You went there. Okay, all right.
Hey, Carl, before I go, can I just ask a question? Do you have a column in the Portugal Resident?
It's funny. Let me just think about that for a moment. Yes, I do, actually. I do have a column.
Well, that's definitely worth checking out.
Thank you very much. Right. And don't forget to subscribe to the Portugeeza on YouTube.
Look, she's coming back for a third go. Third time's the charm.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
No, she good, but she went past. She saw the camera.
Might have her husband with her this time. Okay, careful, mate. Careful out there, causing trouble in idyllic.
It's always been known as a dangerous road, this one, as you can see. It's
Yes.
Need some speed humps.
Is the truth of it really that it's only you and that woman in that car that live there? Really, all those houses.
Just me here and the dog. Yeah.
Okay. And I've seen you walking, haven't you? Look, you've been spotted. I've seen you walking.
Oh no.
You walk in the middle of the street, Tony. I nearly hit you as well, says Lord Dranker.
Barrack, were you described as a woman?
Was that him in the car just then? That's just ignorant.
That was him in the car. That's just ignorant.
Bon dia. Great morning for a walk. You know what? And you and Andera are very similar with your yomps of a morning, and he's got that spooky pre-storm feeling. So is that the vibe?
It's there. You know it's coming. There's like over there you can see the mist. Yeah. Up here you can see the blue. I prefer to look up this way. I prefer. It's a choice. It's a choice you can make on Doreo every day. Every day you can make that choice, my friend.
Meme. You are a living meme, my friend, aren't you? That's incredible. And apparently, just so you know, she's checking you out. If she's passed you 3 times in her car, that's vehicular-based flirtation.
I always miss the cues. Yeah, always. Yeah,
right.
It's terrible. Story of my life.
If she comes round again, you give her a nice big smile and maybe invite her out for a coffee, and we'll catch up.
So, what do you suggest? Should I send her a dick pic?
No, definitely not. And you really don't know how to. I think when you and I need to have a conversation separately about flirtation, that is that is unnecessary and illegal escalation. Right there.
Oh my God. That's why I never do it.
All right, you're lucky not to be locked up. Right, okay. Bon dia Andero from Antonio as well. Thank you, Portugeeza, for joining us this morning. And an impromptu tour around, where are you again?
Travanca de Lagos. And remember to check out Carl Munson's column in the Portugal Resident.
Who doesn't like my column?
You regret it if you don't.
Who doesn't like my column first thing in the morning?
He's got a very nice column, so I've been told.
Watch out for the drop of the controversial release that's coming out on the Portugeeza channel later on today. What time, Tony?
About 10 o'clock, I think. Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be the Portugeeza. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. See you tonight on the Expats Portugal webinars.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. That's it.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show